Hottest show on the streets here. Talking Bama football news in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Got my man Egon Walker in the production studio. As always, people continue tapping the like button, hitting that like button, giving us that thumbs up right there on the show. We appreciate that support. Hitting that subscribe button as well. Topic number 2 here, folks. Flipping this from defense to offense. There is a player here that is saying, don't sleep on me. Don't overlook me. Don't doubt me. Do not count me out of his conversation of being a severely impact player here for your Crimson Tide. That individual is none other than Jase McClellan, former 4-star, came in that 2020 class, Alito High School in Texas, and a guy that, we always knew he had the speed, the burst, the acceleration, the explosiveness. Last season, McClellan added power to his game, running guys over, trucking guys over, added that contact balance, patience there to his game, in which the offensive line was very excited to block for him in that regard. McClellan finished last year 655 yards rushing on 111 carries, did have 7 touchdowns, tied with Jahmyr Gibbs for number 1 there in terms of the running back room. McClellan did this coming off a injury cut short 2021 season where he was balling out until I think the Ole Miss game, got hurt there. When you look at Jase, brings a lot to the table. He's got speed, got cutback ability, got vision, got power, got experience. And he's been working with one Brad Lester, former Auburn running back, who is one of the main coaches for the Speed Genius facility down there in Atlanta, Georgia. And working with Brad Lester, Lester is talking about how he expects Jase 1,700 yards rushing this season. That's a big number. He expects Jase to really carry the torch. 1,700-yard rusher here. Remember when Brad Lester got his hands on Najee Harris a few years back here. And in 2020, what was Brad Lester saying? Najee's going to have a whale of a year. And Najee Harris did have a whale of a year that year. Over 1,400 yards rushing for Najee in 2020. Had over 400 yards receiving that season. Was a Heisman finalist that year. Became a first-round pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this is after Brad Lester had a lot of working time there with one Najee Harris. Now he's got Jase McClellan. And he's saying Jase, 1,700-yard rusher, 1,700-yard back here for the Crimson Tide. What's going to be interesting here is we all know how Saban does this. A guy comes out there with a hot hand, he's going to want to go with the hot hand and ride that hot hand all the way through. If he has a mixture of guys and they all go out there and make an impact and do well and perform, then he'll rotate the mixture. Got 5 guys on the roster. McClellan, Jam Miller, Roydell Williams, Justice Haynes, Richard Young. Justice Haynes, he's going to want his piece of the pie. Richard Young, depending on how he does here in fall camp, he's going to want a piece of that pie. Jam Miller, after what he did last season when Alabama put him in games and he was averaging 6 to 8 yards per carry, Jam going to want a piece of that pie. Roydell Williams, he was a short yardage back last year, did the most of what his opportunity was. He going to want some of that pie. And then once again, you got Jase McClellan who says, hey, I got experience, and when I've been on the field, healthy and on the field, I do things out there. So I want my piece of the pie as well. So it's going to be very intriguing to see how Robert Gillespie, running backs coach, Nick Saban, head coach, you got so many mouths to feed. How can you keep them all happy? How can you keep them all satisfied? Especially with Jay saying here, don't count me out. Don't sleep on me. Don't have me out of a conversation. I came in 2020, big-time 4-star from Texas. Y'all saw my speed as a freshman. I helped this program get to the college playoff national championship, national title there in 2020. 2021, before the injury, I was catching the ball out the backfield to about 3 to 4 touchdown catches as a receiver, providing Bryce Young that security blanket. Last year, I had 10 total scores, 7 rushing, 3 catching. So Jase knows I provide value. Jase knows I provide impact. Jase knows, hey, I can do some stuff out here on this field. So it'll be fun to watch what this young man does here in the upcoming season and how the carries are divvied out, how Nick Saban will go about putting all of this together with one. Robert Gillespie should be fun, should be entertaining to see this all coming to fruition, see this all coming to form. And I'm kind of looking forward, to see Jase pop, I'm looking forward to see Jase pop out of it, his senior year and have that 1,700-yard season. If not 1,700 yards, at least a 1,000-yard season, a 1,000, 1,200, 1,300-yard season. You can see that from Jase. Maybe a 1,700-yard season from scrimmage to where you have to add the receiving yards to that. Maybe he has, a big year returning kickoffs. If Coach Saban puts him in the kick return game, we'll dissect all of that.